went on I Am Athlete on a podcast, called Caitlin Clark fans racist in front of everybody. And it's amazing. There's a subsection of fans out there that are willing to eat crap from the WNBA regardless. Eat from the Indiana Fever. Oh, I'm over it now. Really? You're over being called a racist? Just that quick. Interesting. Okay. Must be nice. I don't get down.
The anger from the Indiana Fever fan base and the broader Caitlin Clark supporter base shows no signs of dying down following the selection of Raven Johnson in the draft. The controversy runs deeper than just a roster decision. Just 2 weeks before being drafted, Johnson appeared on a popular podcast and publicly labeled Caitlin Clark's fans as racist. That comment has not been forgotten, and for a large portion of the fan base, no amount of time or team messaging is going to smooth that over. The Fever then compounded the situation by taking to social media shortly after the draft, attempting to build excitement around the Johnson pick and asking fans to purchase tickets in the same breath.
I'm not forgiving that, okay? That's not going to happen. So, and never mind the logistical issues that the draft pick causes. The Indiana Fever went on a rampage yesterday on social media, on their Twitter X, trying to get you fired up for Raven Johnson. And then
the response was swift and negative. Multiple ticket sale posts went up, including follow-up pushes for single game availability, which struck many observers as a sign that the organization was having trouble moving seats. Whether those games ultimately sell out remains to be seen, but the automatic enthusiasm that typically surrounds a ticket push was nowhere to be found. Adding to the frustration was the team's own promotional imagery. In a graphic that circulated widely, Caitlin Clark, the most recognizable name in women's sports, was positioned in the background, partially obscured, while other players took up more prominent space.
And then they made the mistake of asking you to buy tickets. Damn. Oh, that's Ben Daniels' line. I can't say that. Trademark infringement, Ben. My bad. Shit. How about that? We'll go with a different 4-letter word. Shiznit. That's longer than 4 letters. Hopefully Snoop Dogg doesn't come from.
Fans were quick to point it out, and the reaction ranged from confusion to outright anger. For a franchise that built its entire resurgence on Clark's arrival, sidelining her visually and promotional content struck many as either tone-deaf or deliberately pointed. Fan comments flooding and painted a consistent picture. Multiple people stated they had been on the verge of renewing league passes or booking travel to Indianapolis for games, only to pull back entirely after the Johnson pick. Several mentioned that being labeled racist by a player the organization just drafted made it impossible to justify spending money on the team.
Snoop Dogg doesn't come for that. Wow. So they went on social media asking for you to buy tickets as a consumer of their product. Ooh. The backlash? Oh. Whoa. It is, there's 2 of these, by the way. There's another one. Well, what are you waiting for? Come and join the show.
Others expressed concern about the team's direction under head coach Stephanie White, particularly around how Clark is utilized on the court. The worry being voiced repeatedly is that Clark is being steered toward an off-ball role rather than being positioned as the engine of the offense, which conflicts directly with how she became the sport's biggest draw in the first place. The comparison being drawn in some corners is a dramatic one that mishandling Clark's situation could end up being remembered the way Boston's decision to trade Babe Ruth has been viewed for decades. Whether that comparison holds weight depends entirely on what happens next, but it reflects the level of disbelief among those watching the situation unfold.
Come and join the show. Additional single game tickets available. Wait a minute. Are you guys having trouble selling tickets all of a sudden? What is going on here? And do I expect these games eventually will sell out? Sure. I guess. But the automatic fired upness that this kind of a tweet And by the way,
on the analytical side, some fans broke down specific weaknesses they see forming on the roster: gaps at center, a lack of a true post presence, questions at backup point guard, all while noting that Temi Fagbenle is no longer available after signing elsewhere. The depth concerns feel real to a fan base that watched last season with high hopes and expected the offseason to strengthen the core rather than complicate it. Johnson's recent media appearances have shown her expressing admiration for Clark, describing her as a player who elevates everyone around her and carries a winning mindset. But the awkwardness of those moments has not been lost on observers, given the backdrop of her earlier comments.
look at this. This is the biggest player in women's sports, the most popular player in women's sports. They got her sidelined over here. Let's just be real. You can see more of Aaliyah Boston than you can Caitlin. They got Caitlin Clark hiding behind Kelsey Mitchell back here. Wow. What? Guys,
Clark herself has made no public statement about any of the roster moves, which is consistent with how she has handled controversy throughout her career. She is expected to remain professional and let her performance do the talking. Her representation, however, would be entirely within reason to be monitoring the situation closely and considering what this roster and coaching setup means for her long-term future with the franchise. The broader question being asked is whether the Indiana Fever front office fully understood the weight of what they were doing when they made this pick.
What? Guys, there are signs. There are signs now. I'm not sure Caitlin Clark's going to be on this team in the foreseeable future. Like she's going to play this year. Is she going to stay here? Because it's pretty obvious they hired a coach that does not value her. We're seeing that now. And
the combination of the on-court fit questions, the locker room chemistry concerns, the fan backlash, and the promotional missteps has created a situation that will take more than a few good press cycles to repair. The organization now faces the challenge of trying to sell tickets and excitement to a fan base that feels actively pushed away. The Indiana Fever have added yet another guard to their roster, signing Shatori Walker-Kimbrough. She won a championship with the Washington Mystics back in 2019 and most recently appeared for the Atlanta Dream in 2025, where she averaged 1.7 points per game across 8.6 minutes of action.
We're seeing that now. And if this coach really believes that they are better when Caitlin Clark plays off ball, when she's not running the show, yada, 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 doesn't want to run the offense, if she believes they are better, then Caitlin Clark shouldn't be on this team. This is not the franchise for her. This wasn't the coach for her. This is about to be the biggest misstep maybe in sports history.
The addition continues a clear pattern from the Fever front office, guard after guard after guard, with almost no attention directed toward front court depth. To understand just how far this has gone, consider what the Fever chose not to do. With the 10th overall pick in the WNBA draft, Indiana had a real opportunity to address size. A power forward, a center, even a versatile wing, something that would add physical presence to a roster that is clearly lacking it.
Ari McDonald, Odyssey Sims, still out there without jobs. So understand something. We could be talking about a world right now where the Fever drafted a big with their number 10 pick overall in the WNBA draft. With the number 10 pick, they could have just taken a big of some kind. Power forward, center, something. Hell, a small forward. They may be like, we got small forward covered, Caitlin Clark.
Instead, the pick was used on Raven Johnson, another guard. And while Johnson has legitimate upside, the decision came at the direct expense of solving the one problem that keeps coming up when evaluating this team. Ari McDonald, a player with real fan support and a clear role as a backup guard, is currently unsigned. Odyssey Sims, another recognizable name who could have contributed meaningful minutes, also has no team.
full recovered Caitlin Clark. We could be sitting here. They could have drafted a big. Ari McDonald, a massive fan favorite, sitting out there unemployed right now. Odyssey Sims, another fan favorite, is sitting out there unemployed right now. They could have simply just brought Ari McDonald back to back up Caitlin. I mean, literally, Ari McDonald.
McDonald in particular would have been a logical, low-complication answer to the question of who backs up Caitlin Clark. That solution was available. It was not taken. Instead, Walker Kimbrough, a player who managed less than 2 points per game in her most recent stint, has been added to a backcourt that was already well-stocked.
To back up Caitlin. I mean, literally, Ari McDonald could have just been Caitlin Clark's backup. Easy peasy. Move on with life. But no, they drafted Raven Johnson, and all hell's broke loose. Guys, they signed another guard. They signed another guard. The Indiana Fever have signed guard Shatori Walker Kimbrough. The team has announced. She won.
The full picture heading into training camp is jarring. 8 guards, 3 forwards, and 1 center. The organization is either planning for the possibility that Clark misses extended time again, or the roster decisions are being made without a coherent strategy for actually competing. Neither explanation is particularly encouraging. Meanwhile, the news cycle also brought a genuinely significant development elsewhere in the league.
The team has announced. She won a championship with the Mystics in 2019. Most recently played for the Dream in 2025, averaging 1.7 points per game in 8.6 minutes. Another effing guard. Do they think Cece's going to miss the season again? My team is funny as hell. Are you kidding me? All signing.
Ahaja Wilson, the WNBA's first ever 4-time MVP, is returning to the Los.
My team is funny as hell. Are you kidding me? All we're signing is guards. I mean, let's just go over here. Collecting short guards like gold coins. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. Just a guard in every position. Just put them all out there. I mean, all these other teams got these bigs.
The other notable signing connected to the Aces is Chennedy Carter, who is returning to the WNBA after a year away from the league. Carter, best known in recent memory for her physical confrontation with Caitlin Clark during the 2024 season, spent time playing overseas in China where she was scoring at an extremely high level, putting up 4-0-point performances with regularity. Her talent has never genuinely been in question. As a scorer, she belongs in any honest conversation about the top 10 offensive players in the league.
We're signing another guard. So is Caitlin leaving or something? I hope we get a trade request announcement because the rest of the teams are stacking and we're playing. Another guard. Let me guess, another guard, you effing morons. You do not care about winning at this point. Nah, this is wild. How badly do you want Caitlin playing? Laughing.
The argument that a player of that caliber should remain outside the league in a league that actively needs star-level talent was always difficult to sustain. She should have been suspended and then reinstated, rather than remaining out of the league entirely. What happened on the court should not have happened, but it also should not have ended her WNBA career. How Carter performs away from the environment she was in with Chicago is an open question.
But Caitlin playing, laughing my effing ass off, another 5'9" guard. Malicious, incompetent, stupid. Oh, God. We can't make this up. That's me. I literally just put, this is wild. Clark report. Heading into training camp, we now have 8 guards.
Her play in China and some of her more recent interviews suggest a player who may have grown through the experience. The Aces, already dangerous, become noticeably harder to defend with Carter in the rotation alongside Wilson. Looking at the broader competitive picture, the Fever's current construction makes it genuinely difficult to project them as title contenders. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexi Hall form a real core, but real cores need real supporting casts.
We now have 8 guards, 3 forwards, and a center. Are we being punked? Are they bringing punked back right now? And the Fever front office is just punking the entire fan base. Wow. Asia Wilson. Somebody asked me earlier, hey, I haven't seen.
The New York Liberty have built something formidable. The Aces are stacked. The Atlanta Dream, regardless of how people feel about certain individuals on the roster, have assembled a long, physical, deep lineup. The Fever, by contrast, have more guards than they can realistically play and a front court that remains one of the thinnest in the league.